Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Proverbs, the 4th chapter. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. See, so Solomon is saying here, what I'm providing for you through these proverbs is good doctrine. It's good information, a good way to live by. So don't forsake and the law here is really his instruction. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words. When you retain something, you keep it. So retaining in your heart is to keep it in mind. Keep my commandments and live. Okay, and you have on the on the carnal level, to obey your parents, right, and have a longevity of life, but also our spiritual father, whose commandments, as we have been instructed to keep, will bring us to life. And the commandments are the instructions of the Lord, which they go past just the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, because right now our way of life is not through the perfection of the law, statutes, and commandments, though it is through still the commandments of the Lord. Okay, except the command that the Lord the Lord has given us is to trust on him and to believe in Yahweh Shai, and everything else that comes with that. If we are faithful in, we're gonna gain that eternal life. Get wisdom and get understanding, or get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, because having wisdom is good, but wisdom comes through understanding as well. In order to truly apply wisdom, you have to understand. Okay, and when you understand, you know when, how, and what to do. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. And when you decline from the words of his mouth, as he's saying, you reject it, or you start to stray away from it. Forsake her not, dealing with wisdom, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. All right, and the preservation and the keeping or the guarding is protection. Right, the Lord mentioned that I've sent you forth as sheep amongst wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So our protection is through wisdom, because I think in Ecclesiastes it mentions that wisdom strengtheneth a wise man more than 10 mighty men in the city. So you can preserve your life by applying wisdom, staying out of trouble, and being protected through that. So that's one of the reasons why you should not forsake wisdom. Wisdom is a principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. And when you go to the principal thing, let's look at that word principle. The beginning, the choice part. So the primary part is to get wisdom. And with all that getting, get understanding. Because once again, if you don't understand what it is you're involved in, if you don't understand the wisdom you have, then it's really not of any use to you, because the value of wisdom comes through understanding what it actually is. Okay, which that in itself, as paradoxical as it may seem, is wisdom. So it takes wisdom to understand the value of wisdom. Verse 8, exalt her, and she shall promote thee. When you exalt wisdom, you're holding wisdom in high regard. Now, what that means is you're going to be prioritizing her above other things, right? So we gain wisdom through the fear of the Lord. The Lord gives us wisdom by following and believing in him. And you have other things in the world, right? Distractions, things here and there that you got to do. That's fine. But when you show the Lord that you are prioritizing his word, you're prioritizing him, you're prioritizing wisdom, she's going to yield to you her fruits. That is going to raise you up. That's going to promote you. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. So the closer you get, the more involved you get in wisdom, the more honor she'll bring you. Once again, look at King Solomon. What is it that he desired? He tells you in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 8th chapter, the 7th chapter, how much he exalted wisdom, and he desired her, and when prayed to the Lord, he asked the Father for her, and the Lord gave her to him. And the more he embraced her, the more he was honored. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. And an ornament is like a wreath or something that is made to, to like beautify you. So she's gonna beautify you with grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many. Right? If you keep these sayings, you're going to live a long life. Think about it. Why do people end up, aside from the judgment of the Lord that comes upon them, which even that is warranted, but why do people end up dying young? Because they're not applying wisdom in their life. If they applied wisdom, they wouldn't be getting involved in dangerous activities. They would think it through. They wouldn't be trying to get caught up in get rich quick schemes, because they would understand that there's a penalty and there's a cost to everything. So they would think things through. And if you think things through and you live a godly life the best you can, your life is going to be prolonged. I have taught thee in the way of wisdom. I have led thee in right paths. When thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened. Right? And when something is straightened, it's like restricted, is made difficult. But here he's saying your path, if you walk in wisdom, it's not going to be like that. And when thou runnest, thou shalt not stumble. Take fast hold of her instruction. Fast meaning firm. Hold on firmly to her instruction. Let her not go. Keep her, for she is thy life. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Right. So don't fall after the seduction of the wicked, because they're gonna deprive you of your wisdom that is bringing you that life. So don't go in the way of evil men. Don't follow after their footsteps. Don't be enticed by them, because evil men, they entice you with evil rewards that seem good, but it's not. Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away. For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. This is the nature of evil men. And you can see this from the low level thug, and gremlin, all the way up onto the high ranks of these wicked Edomite elites who practice evil upon their beds. What they lose sleep on is their evil enterprises and mischievous plans. That's what causes them to lose sleep. Verse 17, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. What that means is they're constantly, their life, all right, is revolved around wickedness. Their daily bread is wickedness. Okay, so when you eat the bread of wickedness, that's what you're constantly, associated with. That's like your food. When somebody says that's your bread and butter, it means that's your go-to. So wickedness is their go-to. And likewise, they drink down violence like wine. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more onto the perfect day. See, so the just or the righteous, they're going to continue to shine in righteousness more and more, right? Learning and growing and being more and walking more and more in the way of righteousness until the perfect day, which is basically at when it shines the brightest. Like if you look at the sun from sunrise to like noon, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter until it hits that peak, and then it starts to go down, and then eventually it gets dimmer and dimmer until it becomes dark. At least that's the effect that we see. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not what they stumble. They know not at what they stumble, right? Because they're doing wickedness, but they're really living in a state of darkness. And they're not aware that the things they're doing is actually causing them to stumble, because they think that they're getting, this is a means to an end, but they don't realize what's gonna actually be at their end. So it's like walking in darkness. My son, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart. That is these words of wisdom. Always think about it, meditate on it, and apply it. You end up in a certain situation, remember these words and apply it. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, that's your mind, for out of it are the issues of life. Because oftentimes the things you do, it comes from your mind. You get up one day, what makes somebody get up, join a gang, go and shoot somebody and kill them, it all comes from the head, from the thoughts. So you got to guard your thoughts, you got to guard your mind from influence of the wicked, right? From Satan, from things that'll get you to do deeds that are going to be detrimental to your health and to your well-being. That's why you got to guard it with all diligence. The scripture says, an idle mind is the devil. Well, the saying is, an idle mind is the devil's playground. Verse 24, put away from thee a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from thee. Because a froward mouth, a perverse mouth, and perverse lips show forth a perverse mind. That's why Yahushua said, it's not what goeth into a man that defiles him, but what cometh out of him. Because what goes into you doesn't go into your mind, right? Talking about food, it goes downward to your stomach, to your digestive system, and then out. You excrete it out as waste. What comes out of you doesn't come from, not talking about food, talking about words and intentions that comes from your mind. Verse 25, let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Says, look straight ahead in the NLT and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. And when you ponder on something, you're thinking about it. So you're being wary, you're being cautious, right? To weigh, to make level, to weigh out, to weigh mentally. So really think carefully, on the path of your feet. That is the not like your literal 1, 2, 3 steps that you take, but the steps you take in life and where it leads you. Think carefully about what path you want to take, and let all thy ways be established. Turn not to the right hand or nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. When you turn to the right or to the left, it's a way of saying deviating. So if you're on the path of righteousness and you're instructed not to turn to the right or to the left, it means stick to this. Don't deviate. Don't go to the right. Don't go to the left. Don't let anything distract you or pull you away from it. And remove your foot from evil. And your foot is what leads you wherever it is you're actually going to go. It takes you where you're going, right? So in other words, don't go down the path of evil. And that brings us to the end of the book of Proverbs, the 4th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodesh. And until next time, Shalom.